Libra, it's Romy. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. This is your March 2021 soul story. So if you have a Libra sun, rising or moon, you might find that this general reading just gives you a little bit of extra support by way of the insights and messages to help you navigate your way through. Of course, it's a month that really is like a beautiful gateway. We are going to be welcoming equinox on the 20th, and I always think, especially for your sign Libra, this is a very, very powerful time. It helps to deliver a center point, and I think it's something that you can harness powerfully to find that center point within yourself. And there's a sense through the course of this month, I feel intuitively, that you're going to have to hold really firm in your heart over something and not be swayed, okay? We're opening up your reading with the energy of the Empress, which is beautiful. Now, into Pisces season, we are lighting up your 6th house of wellness and service. And I think it's really your reflection on your sense of self, the way that you're taking care and nurturing every aspect of your life, mind, body, and soul, and then seeing how that's actually shaping your day. And we also have Mars moving into the sign of Gemini from the 3rd of the month, which again is very focused upon the short-term immediate plans. And Mars, of course, ruling our physicality, our motivation, the opportunity for us to be able to drive things forward. So with Empress energy, I'm looking at you coming into a time of being a little bit more grounded within your energy. Of course, Empress links into Taurus, whose ruler is also Venus, the same as yourself. And so we're working with those beautiful energies just to help soothe you, but also put you in a place where you realize that there's no cage except the one that you try to put up around yourself. You know, what we're recognizing through the month of March, with all of the planets going direct, the stars being a little bit kinder to us than they have of late. So there's less squares, less pressure, less anxiety, and a time really where you're going to feel that there's a bit more of a tailwind. So it's a time to catch your breath, but also invite in this beautiful center point. It also is going to invite you to really drop what's heavy, okay? There's just this sense of, okay, enough, I can't continue with this, because I've come to a new place of recognizing where I need to foster a deeper trust, where I need to move more deeply into expressing my potential, unearthing things in my life that I'm feeling compelled, drawn and inspired to move towards. Yeah, so on the 7th of the month we have Pallas Athena, beautiful goddess energy, also entering the sign of Pisces, bringing with her wisdom, healing, intellect, and this deep sense of compassion and forgiveness. Now, it is important because I feel to a certain degree, you know, when I'm saying that you need to hold firm in your heart, Libra, you are going to be moving above and beyond people's projections and perceptions of you through the course of March, and you need to be really strong and assertive in your energy. And I love that the Empress shows up as we talk about that and initiate you into this much more balanced energy of March, because you perhaps have played small, or you have held yourself back because there has been a huge emphasis on not wanting to impact or being overly concerned or worried about what other people might say or how they think about you, or the influence that they have had up to this point. But something shifts through the course of March that's really going to help you, I think, to just, like we said, move above and beyond. So work with that goddess energy, particularly as we come up towards the new moon in Pisces, taking place on the 13th. Here we've got the Magician coming through, so beautiful alchemy that's available to you. It's a month where, you know, building upon last month where we talked about how your manifestations are becoming much more instantaneous, and so be really mindful of what it is that you want to focus upon. Of course, 6th house is looking at how you want to be of service, how you want to show up, the way in which your purpose has been activated, and perhaps there's going to be some powerful catalyst energies coming through the course of March to really help open up a pathway, or just help you realize something with a much greater degree of certainty. Now, Mars in Gemini, of course, lights up the areas of our life where we are ready to express, to communicate, to share information, and I love the Magician comes in on that vibration as well, because his frequency is one of let's sell it, let's share it, let's talk about it. And it comes from a very kind of experimental, in the flow, just keep moving forward. You know, this isn't a set back and get everything right, plan everything to the nth degree. It's just like, let's start and we can make adjustments as we go. But the most important thing is that we get it out there and we start to really realize our power and our potential in the moment. So the more you can start to think about the ways you can foster a deeper trust in your journey and what's showing up and how signs and synchronicity are leading you in certain directions, the better you're going to be able to enjoy some of the more positive energies that are going to be delivered through the month of March. You may choose to grow in some very new directions this month, Libra. And I think because we're going to be welcoming a full moon in your sign, it's also going to be a very interesting month for you to reflect back to how much you've grown, how much you've changed since that new moon in your sign back in 2020. So we are going to welcome Mercury in Pisces on the 15th of the month. Now, all of this water energy, of course, helping to connect you spiritually speaking, giving you the opportunity to explore and be curious about different ways to heal, different ways to work with your own intuitive gifts, but also to unlock new wisdom and creative, imaginative approaches to things, okay? It can really help to set your mind free. You're an air sign, so your thought forms and the way that you think moves quickly anyway, but bring to that the Piscean link of being able to kind of access our beautiful connection to spirit, and for that to be enhanced really puts you in a place where you can have a tremendous sense of enlightenment and awakening. And particularly if you're working with any kind of spiritual practices through the course of Pisces season, you're bound to see growth and advancement, perhaps to the degree that really blows your mind a little bit. So there is a sense of some really important messages and communication that can come your way. Divine wisdom, of course, coming through. And divine wisdom is looking back towards the Magician and the Empress and really just saying, yes, you have everything that you need. I mean, what I love about this is it's saying that even if you feel right now within your life that there is a lack in some area, perhaps there's some aspect that hasn't just quite fallen into place, or you are experiencing hardship, difficulty, or challenge. What the suggestion is right now as we move through the course of March is to really recognize what you do have, because what you do have can be multiplied, it can be worked in new ways, and it can help to identify a way out and a way through for you, okay? So it's very much about how we change our mindset around that and we utilize what we already have, okay? There's something as well that I think is really interesting about you not feeling, Libra, that you have to be invited to kind of have the sense of belonging, so don't wait to be invited to the group. Don't feel that you have to have a certain experience before you have the credentials to be able to talk about something. Don't feel that you have to be validated. This is about you fostering that level of belonging from a deeper place within yourself. And yes, that definitely requires a level of radical honesty, and I think your Ace of Swords is coming through with an important reflection around that, especially through 6th house, because if you're not taking care of yourself and you are avoiding or ignoring certain aspects of your well-being, of course it's going to directly impact on all other areas. So look to the root cause of something, because there's also a tremendous opportunity through Pisces season to overcome and work with addictions and work with aspects of patterns that are very ingrained, because we are led toward those healing modalities that are going to be right for us, okay? Ace of Swords is also suggestive that there is this beautiful fresh new chapter that wants to come in, but for it to show up for you, I feel like there's an important trigger point, okay? And that trigger point might feel a little bit uncomfortable. It might be somebody kind of pushing back, perhaps you expressing or saying this is what I want, or this is, where I'm moving towards, and somebody kind of almost challenging you on it. But instead of feeling defensive with it, I think you can really learn from it. So just be aware as to how that might show up for you. We're still in the Mercury retrograde shadow for, the first part of March. So again, communication or the ability to sort of take something in the wrong way, or it to be misconstrued, or to feel a little bit more tender about the way something is delivered might well come up. But at the same token, you're in a really strong, empowered position right now. And this is why I'm saying it's really important for you to move beyond people's projections and perceptions of you. Because if you're not careful, you could end up using that as the very reason to cage yourself when you don't need to. You know, nothing is going to contain your brilliance through the course of March and April. You know, this is really important energy to be working with, especially as we move into Aries season, which of course lights up that 7th house. And there's a huge focus in and around the important relationships and connections in your life. And I think you might be coming to some real important recognition about what needs to change, or you know, the choices that you're going to be coming to about who you want to work with, who you want to be friends with, who you want to hang out with. Like, that's going to be highlighted in a way that is wanting to get a better balance. It's almost like a recalibration that you're going to be compelled to address through the course of the second part of March, especially as we make our way towards the full moon in your sign. So Page of Wands coming through with that fire energy, and I think that there is important communication, conversation. There's offers and there's suggestions that are coming to you. Remember, you don't have to say yes to anything that doesn't feel right, and you can also say yes but not right now, and that might be important for you. Okay, now yes, we have an energy flow that's really conducive to getting going with things. You know, the inspired action is wonderful to take advantage of as we come through Aries season, and especially right now because there are just so many complementary and supportive astrological aspects taking place through the course of March. But at the same time, you might still be working on something or dealing with something or going through something that just says, I just don't have the capacity for this right now. I don't have the emotional space to deal with it right now. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. New projects, ideas, inspirations that are going to come forth, I think, because all of a sudden you just see something differently, or you might even notice a gap in the market or see an opportunity to, you know, reshape your life in some way. You know, it's all about you looking to see where you can get a balance in your life that's going to work for you, not just in the here and now, but actually moving forward. And of course, things have changed so irrevocably within the collective that it's a fantastic time really to consider, since solstice energy and since the autumn equinox, like how you need to make a further adjustment in order to now put yourself in the best possible position for, you know, tapping into your own potential right now. Yeah, and part of that is going to mean that you're going to have to drop things that feel heavy or onerous or no longer supportive of who you are. Energy of death coming through because there is a release, you know, and that full moon in your sign is going to demand of you an important aspect of release. It's very Scorpionic energy. Of course, it links to that sign. That might be relevant. You may well be dealing with a Scorpio energy of significance through the course of March, or certainly be having some very deep and meaningful conversations in and around relationships, either personally or professionally. But these are people that are having a major impact on your life, and that the conversations and the discussions that are happening are going to have influence, you know. So we need to think about it carefully, and we need to make sure that what we're doing is going to be right for us. Okay, you need to hold firm in your heart. You need to make sure you're not being swayed. Sometimes change can feel uncomfortable, that transitionary process, even though we ask for it, and particularly around equinox might just feel a little bit ruffling of the feathers. But at the same time, what we're doing is we're helping to create space for a lot of fresh energy to come in. And you might not be totally sure about what you want to do with that yet, or where it's really going to lead you, but that's okay. What you're meant to be doing through the course of March, Libra, like we said, is fostering a deeper trust in the journey, understanding that your own brilliance and potential cannot be caged and it cannot be contained, and you are moving beyond people's perceptions and projections of you, so that you can allow this gateway to take you where you're meant to be. So as the sun moves into Aries on the 20th, and then it's followed shortly by Venus on the 21st, you know, that fire energy also a fellow cardinal sign, is really going to help you to feel motivated and inspired towards something. Your 10 of Wands, another invitation to say something's got to go, something's got to be put down. But there's a recognition about not discrediting it because it's had value for you. So it's not about looking back and saying, God, why did I waste my time with that person? Or why did I waste my time for so long doing that job? Or, having that habit that now just clearly doesn't support me. At the time, you made a decision based on what you thought was right for you. So really make peace with that, because there's an important aspect of compassion and forgiveness. And, Pallas Athena wants to really help you with that. So around that new moon, it's the opportunity to kind of make the adjustment, but also to recognize and honor and respect. But in the 6th house, that's where we are carving out a new relationship between our sense of self and then how we shape our day to day. So, what feels difficult must be there must be a plan that's made around it, even if you can't extricate yourself right now. I think that there are going to be those moments where you're recognizing that something's come to an end, perhaps more of a natural closure, or for some of you maybe more of a sudden ending, and realizing whether you have asked for it or it has happened upon you, that it is coming in a divine time, and it is meant to support you in your path moving forward. So even if you need a little bit more processing to figure out how you come to terms with that or how you accept that, it is ultimately going to really help you to grow in very new directions. All right, but something is also coming to a point of completion. There's a tremendous sense of weariness or tiredness in relation to some aspect of your life right now. So, where you feel like you've been just hitting your head against a brick wall, trying to figure out how to do something or how to get it right, or how to get somebody to see you, hear you, understand you, or to get on the same page as you. There's definitely this message that's coming through for the course of March that says your energy right now is going to be so much better directed in another place, even if just temporarily, so that you can remind yourself of actually all that is good and all that is working and all of the power that you do have and the way that you can center and ground your energy. Because I have a feeling that there's almost this sense of too much absorption by that lower frequency of whatever the experience or the person or the connection is that's bringing that heaviness to you, is really kind of creating a little bit of a veil, and not letting you see as clearly as you should be about actually how exciting and how limitless so much of what can come next is really looking like for you. But of course, on your own individual journey, if you're dealing with something that is particularly difficult and you're grieving, mourning, or having to work to carefully untether or untangle yourself from a complex situation, then this is also a reminder for perseverance. You are almost there, and there is a beautiful sense, like I said, of universal support that's going to come in through the month of March, and it is, I promise you, going to feel different to what you have been experiencing through much of 2020 and even those first couple of months of this year. 8 of Wands brings a beautiful sense of swiftness following perhaps a time where it felt like everything was moving slower and you felt like you were never going to get there. Okay, so there's a beautiful turnaround. I anticipate that it's definitely going to come in following that equinox energy, and as we approach your full moon on the 28th, just make sure that you're poised and ready to release what you're really ready to let go of, because there is just going to be this absolute rush of new things that are coming in, and I think it might surprise you how enthusiastic or how excited you feel about some of them. And it might even challenge you to say, well, you thought you wanted this, but here, like, this is what you asked for and even more. So that could play out for some of you in relation to specific people, connections, but also just to where you've been directing, investing your energy by way of your ideas, your projects, your work, your businesses. It's a fantastic time if you're wanting to do anything to progress yourself by way of vocation and career, okay? As long as you are standing firm and you are understanding that the only cage that's going to be put around you is one that is self-imposed. So if you can work diligently through any fears and any resistance that comes up, what you're really going to understand is that your intuition is speaking to you more loudly than it ever has before. And it is going to give you some really important doors that are going to open right on time for you. All right on time, they're going to come in. And like we said, remember, you don't have to feel that you need to wait to be invited. Okay, you already belong. You already belong where you want to be. So start to take that energy on and embody it, and then you're going to start to draw towards you the things that will be supportive of it. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and pull a oracle card here and see what comes through. Okay, embrace your emotions. Allow your feelings to surface and to be accepted. You know, there's a really beautiful healing energy as we work with Pisces season, and you know, the kind of the undertow, the undercurrent can sometimes surprise us and kind of catch us off guard, and we can feel that we're losing ourselves in moments sometimes. But like I said, everything is very supportive of wanting you to succeed, wanting you to do well, wanting you to take better care of yourself, and that requires some honest, radical conversations with what needs to change, you know, what you need to look at implementing so that you can really prepare yourself for going after the dreams, the ideas, and the new chapter of your life that's going to come through as this beautiful gateway month opens up into something more, okay? You may be feeling really lackluster, you may be feeling that everything is kind of closing in, but I promise you the shift of that equinox energy and the allowance of you to accept where you are, but at the same time recognize you're not staying here, is really going to allow for some deep cathartic healing and release, okay? Pisces rules sleep, and if many of you have been experiencing challenges or felt very restless, dealing with lots of different, you know, anxiety or trauma-based responses to things, it's also a time when you can really start to put new rituals or discoveries in and around how to support your well-being in that way, okay? So just make sure you're giving yourself time out to really take care of some of these details. It will make a huge difference moving forward for you. So we have Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I think there is this invitation, you know, from your guide, especially with this divine wisdom coming through, and even the energy of death with this powerful transformation, this rising phoenix energy that says, you know, who do you want to be now moving forward, Libra? You know, what have you learned about yourself, and then how are you integrating and putting that into practice? Sixth house wants you to put it into practice, okay? And then as we move into seventh house energy in Aries season, you can then be, I suppose, tested with that in the way that you are expressing and connecting with the important key relationships in your life. You should also anticipate and expect through that Aries season that the right people will show up where you need help. So if you are someone who is looking for a new partner, looking for help, looking for the right person that can deliver support, inspiration, whatever subject matter it's on, it's a beautiful time, especially in that new moon Pisces, when you're setting your intentions to say, this is the type of energy and the type of people that I need to help me at my next level of growth. What we're seeing is you diving right in. You're just being in a place where you're saying, I'm just trusting, I'm ready for this. And like I said, there's no cage here. So anytime you're feeling like you are being bound or restricted by people's projections and perceptions, and it's hard sometimes not to have that kind of really entangle itself around you, but important energy for just cord cutting and releasing and remembering that, you know, you're the only one who's truly walking in your shoes in this specific journey. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making really important decisions about what is right for you through the course of this month, okay? When you come at something from a really balanced place of certainty, you know, other people will trust and believe in the energy of that. If you know it's right for you, then the people who love and support, respect you, will still be on your path as you move forward, all right? So Libra, this is just a general reading for March. I hope it just gives you a little bit extra support. If you'd like to join me for the extended, we're just going to go ahead and pull some additional cards. So I'm going to invite you to think about a question that you have personally that maybe hasn't come up in the main spread, and we'll pull a couple of specific cards and go into that during the next 20-minute extended. You can find the link in the description box in the comment section underneath. Extended readings are $8 and they're just a way to support my work, and I'm deeply appreciative of those of you that join me there, and all of you for tuning in, of course. So here we are. Now let's just go ahead now and clarify the main part of this reading. So just beginning with the Empress energy, and we've got the Queen of Shells, and the shells represent cups, okay? So we've got Queen of Cups energy coming in with, again, that beautiful, intuitive, harmonious, balanced, compassionate, very receptive energy, and another Empress. Okay, huge amount of fertility, creativity showing here, and perhaps the archetypal energy of the mother is going to be really significant for many of you, or indeed your role as a mother or your own mother, or strong female energies in your life. So we've got Queen of Crystals, which is Queen of Pentacles energy, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn perhaps important, and the energy of the moon coming in here, linking to Pisces, and another Magician. Ace of Cups coming. Again, just this reminder about self-care through the course of this month, Libra. And to really make sure that's being looked after, especially with your Nine of Wands showing up again. Seven of Wands coming here. See, I know you're going to overcome any of the challenge. Sometimes those challenges can be our greatest gifts. Five of Crystals is like the Five of Coins, Five of Pentacles. And the King of Wands coming through here as well. A lot of fire energy coming in to be supportive. May also be a fire sign that you are dealing with, a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. So we'll check into that about what the influence is and why. Seven of Cups coming in, and Three of Crystals. This is the Spirit Song Tarot deck. Beautiful animal representation. We've got the card of Justice, which of course links to your sign, Libra. Huge rebalancing energy there, really, where something is being released and changed with that Tower and Death energy coming through for you. Look at the aces showing up here. This is another Ace of Swords, so just important clarification that I think that is going to set you free. It's going to liberate you from something. So if you felt like you're waiting, or you've been confused or uncertain about something, definitely feel like you're going to be in a position to hear what you need to be informed about what your next steps are. And there's nothing to feel fearful about with that, because that information is actually very powerful. It's going to be very healing for you, and it's going to start to create space for what comes next, all right? Got Queen of Swords and the Knight of Cups coming in here, and another Ten of Wands. So something about the way you're being put upon, or what's being asked of you. It'd be interesting to have a look at that. But we also have the release of it with Judgment. Wheel of Fortune coming in here. Another Ace coming through. Beautiful. Nine of Coins, lovely. And finally the Four of Swords there. All right, Libra, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you tuning in. I wish you beautiful blessings and enjoy that gorgeous full moon in your sign this month. And I hope to see you on the extended. Thanks. Bye.